What if I told you that the Mississippi River, the lifeblood of America's agriculture and trade, is quietly becoming one of the nation's biggest threats? Beneath its iconic beauty lies a ticking time bomb of crumbling infrastructure, unpredictable floods, and climate chaos waiting to strike. And here's the twist. What if the very river that powers half the country's economy could also bring it to its knees? The truth is more shocking and urgent than you might think. Stick around, because this story isn't just about a river. It's about the future of a nation. The Mississippi River isn't just a river. It's the backbone of an entire nation. Stretching 2,350 miles and touching 10 states, it's not just geography, it's legacy. Imagine this. Over 500 million tons of freight glide through its waters every single year. That's half of America's agricultural wealth, traveling on barges as massive as skyscrapers laid flat. Corn from Iowa, soybeans from Illinois, rice from Arkansas, all flowing seamlessly toward global markets. Without the Mississippi, much of America's breadbasket would sit idle, disconnected from the world. This river is more than a transport route. It's a living, breathing economic powerhouse. Think about it. How many places on Earth can boast moving such a staggering amount of cargo while supporting ecosystems brimming with life? It's like a superhighway that happens to be alive. Farmers, exporters, even city economies depend on its steady flow. When you buy a loaf of bread or a bottle of soybean oil, odds are the Mississippi had a hand in getting it to you. But it's not just about practicality. There's something poetic about this giant waterway. Picture a sunrise over the Mississippi, barges slicing through the mist as they carry the fruits of labor from fertile fields to waiting ports. Yet, underneath this serene surface lies a silent warning. Floods, droughts, and the creeping hand of climate change are pressing threats. For all its strength, the river is vulnerable, and its resilience is being tested like never before. And that's where the story gets fascinating. The challenges ahead aren't just environmental, they're deeply human. How do you protect a river that's so vital, yet so fragile? Hold that thought, because what's coming next will make you realize just how unpredictable the forces of nature can be. The Mississippi River has always been a force of nature, but lately, it's like the rules have changed. Climate change has turned the once reliable flow into a roller coaster of extremes. Picture this. Record-breaking floods in 2011 and 2019 swept across towns, farms, and infrastructure, leaving billions of dollars in damage. It's not just about water, it's about unpredictability. Farmers lose crops, businesses halt transport, and whole communities are thrown into chaos when the river refuses to stay in its banks. And then there's the other side of the coin, droughts. Imagine a river so low that barges can't pass, trade routes grind to a halt, and agriculture takes a hit. When water levels drop, it's like unplugging the artery that feeds America's economy. Climate-induced cycles of drought and flooding make the Mississippi more of a gamble than a guarantee. For those who depend on it, this isn't just inconvenient, it's life-altering. But here's the kicker. It's not just the river itself that's affected. Surrounding infrastructure, from farmland irrigation systems to city water supplies, feels the ripple effects. Increased precipitation and fluctuating water levels push existing systems to their limits, exposing weaknesses we never thought we'd have to deal with. The river doesn't just rise and fall, it challenges everything built around it. The real question isn't if the Mississippi can handle these changes, but if we can. Are we prepared for what's coming next? As we dig deeper, you'll see how even the most resilient systems, like the river's locks and dams, are showing their age under this pressure. Buckle up, because what happens next could redefine how we think about infrastructure altogether. For all its power and importance, the Mississippi River is running on borrowed time when it comes to its infrastructure. Think about this. The 29 locks and dams that keep this vital artery functioning were built during the 1930s and 1940s. That's nearly a century ago. These aging structures, while revolutionary in their time, are now showing signs of wear. Cracks, corrosion, and mechanical breakdowns have become a regular occurrence. It's like relying on an old typewriter in the age of cutting-edge tech. Eventually, it's going to fail when you need it most. Moreover, these locks and dams are not just essential, they're irreplaceable. Without them, the river's entire transportation system collapses. Picture this. Millions of tons of grain and other goods stranded, unable to reach their markets. Repairing or replacing these systems comes with an eye-watering price tag. over $30 billion by some estimates. Yet the alternative, allowing this infrastructure to crumble, would cost far more in economic losses, disrupted trade, and environmental fallout. Adding fuel to the fire, climate change intensifies the pressure on these old systems. Rising water levels from record floods strain already fragile components, while prolonged droughts expose their vulnerabilities even further. Imagine the nightmare scenario of a dam failure. An unstoppable surge of water wiping out cities, farmlands, and livelihoods downstream. It's not just an engineering challenge. It's a ticking time bomb with consequences that ripple far beyond the riverbanks. And if that wasn't enough to keep you on edge, the story doesn't stop here. While the infrastructure itself is under siege, the real threat lies in what could happen when these systems fail. From catastrophic floods to rare, yet deadly phenomena like ice jams, the Mississippi River continues to remind us that nature, when combined with neglect, can be devastating. Let's delve deeper into these looming disasters in the next chapter. When we think of the Mississippi River, it's easy to focus on its benefits, but its dangers loom just as large. Picture the devastating scenario of a dam failure, unleashing a torrent that wipes out entire towns and farmlands. This isn't mere speculation. Aging infrastructure and intensifying climate pressures make it a chilling possibility. Such an event wouldn't just disrupt trade. It could erase livelihoods and redraw maps of entire communities. The threats don't stop there. Rare but destructive ice jams can transform the river into a ticking bomb, with massive chunks of ice blocking its flow, only to release a devastating surge downstream. Pair that with climate-induced extremes like erratic rainfall and prolonged droughts, and the Mississippi transforms from a reliable waterway into a geographical wildcard. It's clear this river, as crucial as it is, carries immense risk with its rewards. The stakes are even higher when you consider how much the Mississippi supports. Imagine trade routes halted, crops stranded, and entire industries at a standstill. The ripple effects wouldn't just be felt locally. They'd echo across the global food supply chain, showing just how interconnected we all are. Every barge that fails to move represents losses far beyond the eye can see, economic, social, and ecological. Yet, despite these looming dangers, the Mississippi remains a lifeline we can't live without. Its challenges and potential disasters force us to think bigger, to innovate and adapt before it's too late. There's so much more to uncover about this mighty river and its future, and you don't want to miss out. Subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell to keep learning about these untold stories that shape our world. Trust me, we're only scratching the surface. The Mississippi River isn't just a marvel of nature. It's the beating heart of America's economy and communities. Its waters power industries, transport goods, and support agriculture that feeds millions. But what happens when this vital lifeline is disrupted? Imagine a sudden halt in barge traffic, crops stranded, businesses crumbling, and entire supply chains grinding to a standstill. The ripple effects wouldn't just touch a few towns. They cascade across the nation and even ripple through the global economy. Consider the local communities that thrive because of the river's steady flow. From bustling port cities to rural towns, countless livelihoods are tied to its rhythms. Farmers depend on it to export their harvests, while industries along its banks rely on its waters for transport and production. Yet, the same communities that depend on the river are often the first to feel the sting of its unpredictability. Floods, droughts, and shifting water levels force them into a constant battle for stability. And then there's agriculture, the backbone of the river's economic significance. Half of America's agricultural output moves along the Mississippi, making it a lifeline for both producers and consumers. But with climate change increasing the frequency of extreme weather, farmers are left wondering if the river will remain a reliable partner or turn into their greatest challenge. The stakes couldn't be higher when food security and trade are on the line. As we pull back the curtain on the Mississippi's story, it becomes clear this isn't just about one river. It's about the interconnected web of life it sustains. But what if we told you the solutions to these challenges aren't as simple as they seem? Let's explore the ingenuity, resilience, and tough decisions required to secure the river's future. Keeping something as massive as the Mississippi running smoothly isn't a simple job. It's a balancing act that demands big ideas and even bigger investments. Those old locks and dams? They're way past their prime. Imagine trying to rely on a flip phone in today's world of smartphones. That's where modern tech steps in with tools like flood prediction systems and smarter infrastructure upgrades. These could be the game changers that keep the river and everything it supports alive and kicking. The folks who live along the river? They're no strangers to rolling with the punches. Farmers are finding clever ways to handle unpredictable water levels, from advanced irrigation to crop adjustments. Local industries are hustling to keep goods moving even when the river's acting up. And let's not forget the small towns pitching in with creative projects like planting trees to reduce flooding and erosion. It's proof that the people here know how to adapt and thrive, no matter what. On a bigger scale, this isn't just America's problem. It's the world's. The Mississippi connects farms in the Midwest to dinner tables across the globe. That's a lot of pressure, and it's why upgrading the river's infrastructure isn't just a good idea. It's a must. When you think about it, keeping this river flowing smoothly means protecting economies far beyond its banks. But here's the real kicker. Time isn't on our side. Every delay makes the risks grow, and the fixes get harder. So, what's the plan? Let's dig into how other countries are dealing with their own big water challenges. Who knows? Their solutions might just hold the answers we need to keep this iconic river going strong. You've just uncovered the hidden side of the Mississippi River, a story of power, risk, and resilience that few truly understand. But here's the thing. This is just the tip of the iceberg. The challenges and mysteries we explored today barely scratch the surface of what this iconic river represents. How many other secrets are waiting beneath its waters? And what other forces are shaping the future of America's most vital resources? Now imagine this, being part of a select group of people who truly get it, who understand the connections between history, nature, and the economy. That's the knowledge you've gained today. But don't stop here. There are millions of stories like this one, each packed with insights that could transform the way you see the world. Want to keep learning? Subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. Trust me, the journey is just beginning, and you won't want to miss what's coming next.